Yo, guys, what up, 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 what up? It's the kid, it's the kid, it's the kid, it's the kid. Coming at you here for another beautiful, lovely live stream. We're going to talk about the media. We're going to have a nice, good, honest talk about the media. It's been a crazy week. It's been a crazy week all around the world. You can't ignore it. You know, it is the story that is pretty much dominating most of the world, and I think it would be hard for you to ignore this. But I just thought, you know, we have to keep things moving. But as much as we keep things moving, we're still keeping things connected with what's happening on the ground. What's happening on the ground is what's happening out there. And I thought that this was an interesting topic to really talk about, because again, I think it was Sammy that emailed me some suggestions for topics, and then said something about fake news. Trump was like, okay, fake news. I said, let's take, rather than just talk about fake news, let me expand it and just talk about the media and the effects of the media and how the media has been used so far. So before I just get in there, just say what I've been doing. It. So I've begun Malcolm X. You know, it's so funny that like the time that I bought this has coincided with all the stuff that has been happening. So I have begun the autobiography of Malcolm X by with the assistance of Alex Haley. So I'm still on the intro. As you can see, I'm still on the intro. So interesting so far. So the media. I think the best place to start this off is talk about it through a subjective point of view. So talk about my journey of where I started with the media and where I am now. So being in Nigeria, you know, you're fed the news. And the news was obviously a big, massive thing growing up in our house in Nigeria. And really, the only news station that we really had, or we really watched, or my parents watched, was CNN. So everything I knew about the world, what was happening around the world, was through CNN. Remember, this is the 90s. This is the 90s. So this is Twitter, Facebook is not even a thing. And even the internet wasn't even, internet didn't exist in Nigeria during the 90s. So you were at the behest of what was shown on TV. So everything you knew about the wider world, because yes, you had local newspapers, but everything you knew about the wider world were from news programs. And really the biggest news program in the world at the time during the 90s was CNN. So as a kid, I took everything that CNN said as fact. This is how this world is. This is what happened. This is what it's about. Because in my mind, I was like, you know, the news is objective. This is an objective institution. They aren't biased. Remember, this is the mind of a child. It's the mind of a kid. The news is objective. It doesn't take sides. It is feeding you the information. But most importantly, it's right. Everything I'm receiving is factual because this is an institution, and it is this institution's duty to feed us facts, that they do not care about opinions or mouthpieces. They're here to tell you what is happening on the ground. Because you see, the important thing about news is you have to know what is going on in the world. That is why I want, because I talked about the importance people in society. So you have generals, so you have soldiers, you have policemen, you have doctors, you have nurses, but also as well, a very important part of society are journalists, reporters. What is happening around the world? Because why they're important is because there are regimes or there are people who are trying to hide the truth from people. But the journalists are the ones that told us about the breaking of the Berlin Wall, the ones that told us about the Biafra War, the ones that told us about what Idi Amin was doing in Uganda, the guys that told us also about the Vietnam War, told us about the Iraq War, and all of these different kinds of things in the world where, like, if we did not know about this, there probably wouldn't be a public outcry to then enforce these changes. So journalists have an incredibly important job to relay the news, so do news institutions. So again, I was like, CNN, boom, this is it. CNN is news. That's my big mistake. Remember, I'm a child. Look at that. CNN is news. So as I grow, I live in Nigeria. Then I come over to England. And for me, I'm like, so now this is now when I hear about BBC News. And I'm like, it's BBC. Boom. This is the establishment. This is England. England and the people that know the right things to do. They're always the people that know the right things to do. Shout out to people, shout out to people out there. Don't worry, I will view your comments. Let me just get this out there and I will view the comments. So BBC always know the right things to do because this is the establishment, So I always took everything that the BBC said as Bible because this is a face of English journalism. You got your Channel 4 and Sky News, but BBC is England. They are completely 100% tied with the government and the face and the fabric of English society and the royal family. So what they say has to be fully right because they have to have that integrity. So again, you have CNN, yeah, BBC News, you have all these news channels. So where do things change? Things change for me when you begin to watch films. And this is why films are so powerful, because films are another form of media. But unlike news channels, you have different filmmakers. You see, news is an institution that always remains the same. Film is an art form. Film isn't an institution. Hollywood is an institution, but films, the medium of films is an art form. And there's a way to express yourself and express what you want to say. So there will always be certain people who will have certain things to say that may not be what the status quo is. So again, you look at something like All the President's Men, Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman, about the whole Nixon thing. And you just view different sorts of, but that's the real big one that's thought about, how news works and how you're trying to suppress the news, and you watch more programs. And then you look at documentaries and you're like, And then and I see now the big thing for me was Al Jazeera, because I'll tell you what it was. The Palestinian-Israel thing. When I just look at the Palestinian-Israel thing, from CNN and BBC News, it was always told from Israel's point of view, because it's Israel. They are tied with America. America is tied with CNN, and America is tied with England with BBC News. So everything was told from Israel's point of view. So the Palestinians were just out there. But as I was doing more and more research, talking to more and more people, I said, wait. There are two sides here. Yes, there's the Israel side, but there's the Palestinian side. But I never really know about the Palestinian side. And that's how I now thought of how I found out Al Jazeera. And where Al Jazeera were coming from. Okay. Because Al Jazeera thing, I said, but the way, so how's that Al Jazeera? These are all news institutions. They're supposed to be the same. So why are Al Jazeera giving me news from a certain perspective that isn't the same perspective as BBC News and CNN? And then the big thing was social media. Huge. Social media is the savior of getting news. It is savior of getting news because what you're having right now is you now have this conflict. It may be a certain conflict, now conflict between news that you're getting on the ground from someone with a phone and the news that you're getting from an institution. Because on social media, there are no filters. It's a guy saying, this is what happened, here you go. But what you now find is a news, and this is even what I've slowly found working in a news channel, I'm working for a news channel, I'm working for a news organization, is it isn't going to go from, here is my story, and I'm going to report it. No. Here is my story, take it to the editor. Well, you take it to the program editor, then you take it to the news editor. And the news editor-in-chief will say, no. We can't print this. You have to change this. But he then said, whoa, wait a minute. But why? This is news. This is what happened. Why do I need to change that? No. And what you now find are news institutions have agendas. And this was a crazy revelation for me. This was a crazy revelation for me when I found out that, no, these news institutions, they have agendas. They have points of view. They aren't objective. They aren't objective. See, for me, I am about facts. What happened? Tell me what, I don't care about your opinion. Tell me the truth. Let me take back and then decide what I feel about this truth. Don't tell me your truth. Because I always say, this is what I always say. There are 300,000 lies. There are a million lies. There's only one truth. There can only be one truth. So tell me the truth, which has nothing to do with you. Then I can decide what I want to do with that truth. So what you find is that these news institutions, they have agendas. They have political agendas. They have agendas coincided with the government, with institutions, with organizations. CNN is left-wing. I'm going to talk about CNN. CNN is left-wing. BBC News is at the behest of the royal family and the government. They're at the behest and are reporting news that help the government. Because again, I want to speak about sheep, but they're really that are at the behest of the royal family and the government. Fox News, they are right-wing. And they are at the behest and in support of right-wing views. CNN are in the behest and in support of left-wing views. You know, they may say Al Jazeera are more leaning towards the Middle East. So what you get from all these news, see, that's the institution. Institution. When you have an institution, there are rules within that institution. But not only that, power. Power. When you have power and influence, we have no time for objectivity. Because if you have influence, that's key. That's a key thing. Influence. Influence. If you have influence, you can't be objective. There is no point in being objective. Because what's the point of influence? You're trying to influence people. If you're objective, you're not influencing anyone. By influencing someone, you're telling someone a point of view to think a certain way. So these news institutions are there to influence people. Fox News are trying to influence people to think a certain way. CNN trying to influence people to think a certain way. BBC News is trying to influence people to think a certain way. And we could go even deeper with regards to TV channels, TV stations. I want to touch on England. Because I want to touch on how English media changed from the 90s to the 2000s. But let us keep it with news institutions right now. You're there to influence. You're there to influence people to think a certain way. And this is the danger. There are people, I think, from the older generation who, BBC News, Sky News, CNN, they probably leave it on mute, but that's the older generation. But our generation is different. Do you know what our generation does? or I don't even have my phone with me, but we take our phone, or we go in and we like, boom. Okay, boom, click, click, click. Oh, that's, let me click there. All right, let me go there. Click. Let me respond. Okay, tell me more. Oh, really? Let's have a conversation. Let's have a back and forth. You see, we are part of an active generation. The generation above us were passive because the generation above us laid back, turned on the television, and let it just all come through them. They never questioned because there's no back and forth. You can't ask any questions. It's a TV. It's a TV set. you press the TV set, and that passage of news is just hitting you, smacking you in the face. But what we do is we're active. We have to go into our phones. We look at the hashtag. We look at what's trending. We then click it. We see a guy say, "Look at what happened." Then we say, Because I want us to talk of there is another side of social media, and there is a wrong side. So it isn't all good. But let's just talk about how it's different. We go on and we look at the news stories. Oh, interesting. Then we retweet, or we retweet and we comment, or we get in a conversation. We now have a back and forth. Is this true? How is this true? Where did you get this from? What happened? So we now ask, because this is a generation which questions, which is the great thing of this generation. The great thing of this generation, my generation or generation below, is we question. We are critical of the news that we are given. And we are so critical, we don't trust these institutions. How many 18-year-olds sit down and watch Sky News, CNN, Fox News? How many? How many? Let me see what's some of y'all are saying, man. CNN went all the way against Bernie Sanders because they are a tool for financial establishments. Influence. In a political thingy, all I want is information. You shouldn't be involved. This is in a utopia. This is what should be. What should be is, okay, campaigns can be campaigns, but you are giving news. Let's say I'm an independent voter. I'm not for any president. In the news, tell me something, the agendas of each of the candidates. Tell me what they're doing. Tell me what they're saying. Cover each candidate equally. But remember, these institutions are not there to relay news, they're there to influence. Because every institution has an owner, has a leader. That leader has a political point of view. So if I have an institution that can influence people, because the media influences people, it influences the sheep. If I can influence this sheep, this mass of zombies, I want to ensure that I'm influencing them with my point of view. So if, for instance, example of CNN, I don't want Bernie to be in charge because I don't agree with his political point of view. And my channel is watched by millions of drones who don't question. They don't question, they just accept. They just accept. You see, I can't influence the younger dudes because they are very critical. And even if they watch my channel, they're on the internet. Because again, who are Bernie's biggest supporters? The youth, the younger people who are on Twitter, who are on Facebook, who are on Instagram, who are on LinkedIn, who are on Snapchat. Those people. So CNN can't reach those dudes. But CNN are for the 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, those dudes who grew up with CNN and who aren't really active on the internet, who don't spend hundreds of hours tweeting, retweeting, hundreds of hours posting on Facebook. So for CNN, no, I'm trying to influence those people. I'm not there to relay news. I'm not there to tell you what happened. No, it's not about what happened. I want you to vote for X. I don't want you to vote for Y. And I'll do everything to ensure that Y, not only will I not cover Y equally, I will ensure that I'm painting such a bad picture of why I will influence you. And do you know why my thing is effective? Turn off, go to bed. You don't question. You never question, man. I know it. Say there are biases everywhere. You need to hear different voices to get a better picture. No, for me, but what I'm saying is, in an ideal world, which is why I say that it's where you get the news from. In an ideal world, what you want to hear is what happened. What happened? Be objective. This is what's happened. But we don't live in an ideal world. There are biases. But the issue is, you say you need to hear different voices to get a better picture. People are lazy. Sheep. The sheep. I grew up with Fox News. I watch Fox News. It's in the tradition of my family. It is too much work for me to watch Fox News, watch CNN, watch TYT, and look on Twitter and view political, and look at Bloomberg, look at Reuters. It's too much because I'm lazy. Most human beings are lazy. Give me what I need right now without me having to do too much work. I work 9 to 5. I may work 2 jobs. I may work a 12, 13-hour job. I've gotten back. I'm tired. I'm able to just put on Fox News. Tell me the news. I don't have time to go from, oh, this news, what did it say? What did it say? No. Tradition. Habits. Habit is key. Habit is key. All right, this is what this guy is saying, man. Don't newsreaders have to source their information? I mean, well, I speak. So this is from working in a news channel. So what happens is that, let's say we have a program editor, and there are different kinds of news readers. So, for instance, we have just regular news readers who have just come in, or they're just like, they're earlier on in the industry or so forth. They just read the news. So for them, it's like all they do is they take the script that has been written by the program editor, verified by the news editor, and they just read that out. Now, a more experienced news reader, somebody who's been in the game for several years, they will then look at that and they'll say, no, I'm going to make my changes. This isn't so good. So they will write the headlines and they will then edit the script. Those are the more experienced ones. But the ones who are not really that experienced, who have not really been in the game, or maybe do not even have a journalistic background, who are just mainly presenters, they don't question what has been written. They're like, because they are there as an image, because they speak very well, they have a good look, and they're good public speakers. So the sourcing of information comes from the program editors, comes from the journalists, comes from the reporters, comes from the analysts, comes from the correspondents. It doesn't come from the news readers who are just there to relay the news. So you have to look at the right kind of people, man. All right. But see now, the key thing that we now have here. Okay, see now, this is where I wanted to go to. Social media. See, now, where I get most of my news from is social media. I don't watch the news. I don't watch the news. Because the beauty of Twitter is this. If you're on a news channel, all you're getting is the news from a certain point of view. That's all that's happening. Thinking about social media, and the reason why I use Twitter is what's trending. Aha, this is trending. I click on it, and once I click on it, within the space of 10 posts, I'm hearing a left-wing's point of view, a right-wing's point of view, a center-left point of view, a center-right point of view, an independent's point of view, a liberal's point of view. I'm hearing all these different points of view in a space of 10, 11, 15 tweets. So Twitter is like watching a news channel where you're hearing different points of view like that. Boom, 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 boom. So I'm like, so from Twitter, I was like, I know what's happening. I've heard about 5 different points of view through posts. I can now be like, let me now formulate my own opinion. But the issue with social media is they don't have the same verification checks within an institution. Yes, an institution may be biased, but you see, journalists pride themselves. They pride themselves on the veracity of their news. That is their badge of honor. And the worst thing that can happen to a journalist is if the news they've put out comes from a bad source or it isn't truthful. That ends your career as a journalist. It completely ends your career as a journalist if you do that. So the filter has to be filtered. It has to be truthful, which is why you have so many checks. So you get the story. The program editor looks at it. Okay, cool. You then have to give it to the editor-in-chief. And the editor-in-chief looks at it, looks, questions you. He may even ask, who is your source? Where did you get this from? Do you still have a link into your source? You've done all these checks. All right, we'll put it out. Whereas there are many, this is why I tell my mom. The amount of time that my mom will just send me all these news. And I say to my mom that, Mom, you can't believe everything you read on the internet. Just like Wikipedia, you know what? Anyone can edit Wikipedia. Anyone can. Anyone can edit Wikipedia. So, and the instance is that the danger is, yes, you don't have this institutional hawk looking over you, but at the same time, people can be emotive, or people may have ill intention and be like, hey man, I want to start this rumor that, oh, do you know what has happened? Boom, let me put this out there, and it will just gain, and because people are global, it will just gain traction. So you have to be wary. You have to be wary about what you get on the internet, because there is a lot of crap on the internet, and a lot of people just want to be put the stuff in there. Explain how, when war breaks out, how CNN, BBC, etc. have reports on the ground so fast. So, for instance, things have been a bit crazy in Iran or Syria. So when things even begin to bubble, you have people stationed there. Remember, CNN and BBC have hundreds upon hundreds of journalists all around, hundreds, all stationed everywhere. But you ensure that if tension is happening, there are journalists who are stationed there, so they live there. They either live there or they go there like at least once a week. But no, normally they live there. So it's like, okay, we are hearing some tension in here. Oh, just for example, we're hearing that there could be some tension happening in Sweden. Something could pop off in Sweden. All right, you will now be stationed in Sweden for 6 months, because we think that something may pop off in 2 months' time. So if something does pop off, we are already there, and you're giving us live footage already. So you are preempting what is about to happen there. So that's the key thing, is you're just reading this situation. You're reading the situation. For me, look, of course, Al Jazeera, I'm sure, has some biases and everything, but I've always said that from the news I've watched, Al Jazeera seems to be the most balanced. The most balanced, not just balanced, but compared to CNN, BBC, flipping Sky, Sky News, Fox News, Al Jazeera just seems to be the most balanced in terms of how they relay the news. But let's keep it real. Again, like the channel that I work for part-time tries to have an African point of view. It's international news, but tries to have an African point of view. Al Jazeera is international news, but tries to have a Middle Eastern point of view. So they will still try and lean towards the Middle Eastern theory, man. Let's see, man. Don't say. I'm not disrespecting Wikipedia there, but it's a fact. anyone can edit Wikipedia. That's those are just plain facts. Anyone can edit that thing, man. But my main thing is about sheep. So you ask yourself that, why are people so willing to accept everything that is thrown towards them? Why? Is that why are people like drones? Why are they like zombies? And why do they so easily accept what is thrown towards them? And why don't we as a people, why don't we as a culture question everything that is given to us? Because media is influential. And media is a form of control. It is a form of control. And we've seen this all throughout history. You've seen this all throughout history. Like, there's a really good book, like I think it's called 1984, which talks about how influential the media can be. Because if I'm a president, or even more so a dictator, but even you could even say a president, the media is very important in maintaining power. Look at North Korea. If you were to look at the news from North Korea, you would think that it is a beautiful place. Everything is fine. Everything is good. And North Korea is one of the most amazing places in the world. Like, I think in North Korea, I was reading something about North Korea. Like, it's crazy. Like, I think a lot of people who live in North Korea, they're not actually aware of what's happening in the world. So because everything they control, they censor any other media, and they censor any kind of news sources from outside of the world. All you know about the world is what people in North Korea tell you. So I think they even say, like, they've been to the moon, they discovered the moon. So they get told all of this stuff. And why would you believe otherwise? If all you know is North Korea, you never left North Korea, and the only media you're given is been verified by the state and the government, why would you question anything? So those people in North Korea, you're being influenced. And they are painting a picture that your president is pretty much a god. And you're painting a picture that your country is the greatest country in the world. So then that then gives your soldiers and your army that extra motivation and that extra impetus to pretty much say, what's up? Wait, we're the strongest country in the world? We'll bloody say what's up. We're bloody going to say what's up. So that is why presidents find so hard to have the media on their side, which is where we now get to Trump. Because dictators need the media. Dictators need the media. Trump is a dictator. He is a dictator. It's just that he is a dictator in the 2020 westernized sense. But so this is as much of a dictator he can be a place like America. And because he's a dictator and he thinks like a dictator and he thinks like a king, he is so vehemently fighting against CNN because he knows how influential the media can be. Every dictator, see, dictators have a massive ego, but low self-esteem, which you never know about. They have low self-esteem, but they have a massive ego. And because they have a massive ego, they need to be reminded and told that they're amazing. They're incredible. Everything that they're doing is right. And anytime a voice says that you're a loser, what you're doing is wrong, it gets at them. So so for Trump, that is why he fights so much against CNN. Because he's like, no, you're going against my narrative, you're fighting against me. And he knows how influential they are. Because obviously the big ones in America is, of course, CNN and Fox News. You've got ABC, MSNBC, but really the flagships are really CNN and Fox News. But CNN has been huge. And the thing about CNN is this. Shout out to me some real deal messages. Most will choose the blue pill. Don't ask, don't tell. But look, yeah, people are sheep. People don't want to live the truth. They don't really want to know the truth. That's the funny thing about the red pill and the blue pill. But yeah, like most people in this world are zombies. Most of these people in this world are sheep, and all they want to do is follow. They don't want to think for themselves. They don't want to be independent. They want to just 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, do my little thing, do what I can. I don't have to ruffle the feathers, have a family, kids, pass them on. 65, I retire, die, I'm done. That's what most people want. And unfortunately, if everyone does that, things won't really change. But the thing that is about it is that, see, Trump, he is a dictator. He's a dictator. But sorry, back to CNN is that so in my newsroom, we have like these news channels that are on the TV screen, So we have like CNN, we've got Al Jazeera, we've got all this stuff. And there are times when like I'll just be looking at CNN and about 80% or about 80 or 90% of the news that we get from CNN is about Trump. These guys are obsessed about Trump. And they spend so much of their time fighting against Trump. And as a news institution, you can't do that. I think there was a time when there was a really big story happening. This is a massive story. Like something, I think it was like a war or a massive conflict where every other news was on this story. But CNN was still having an anti-Trump discussion panel. I was like, guys, wait a minute. There's a major story happening right now. A really big major story that's happening right now. And instead, you're just focused on an anti-Trump piece. But you see, that goes to this war they have with Trump and CNN, because CNN, because it's like this. CNN are a company. They're not a news institution. They're an influential company. They are an influencer. They're not a news company. They're an influencer. And if the president who has millions of supporters is saying that these guys are fake news, that greatly harms the brand of CNN. Like Trump has single-handedly diminished the influence of CNN. They still have influence, but they've diminished them because nobody has ever called them out as fake news. Nobody has ever called them out that the news is crazy. Because yes, Trump is mad. The guy's racist. So what? The guy's just a crazy dude. But CNN is biased. Some of their news can be construed as fake news because they have an agenda. And their agenda is we have to create a narrative that is against Trump because we are heavily left-wing. But we're not only heavily left-wing, we've now been attacked by the president. We've been attacked by one of the most influential individuals in the world. It's already harmed the brand, but we have to fight because this could seriously harm and destroy our brand. But for Trump, you're seeing now how he's now fighting because of all of what these news stations are saying. Because don't get it twisted. Trump is a dictator in a Republican's coating, But inside, the way he thinks and the way he wants to rule is like a dictator. So he is not literally a dictator because you can't have a dictator in the West based on just how the operations of the West is. But in his mind, if you go deep into psychology, he believes himself to be a dictator. So he's as much of a dictator as he can be within America. So a friend of mine told me he understood how the world works because he watches CNN. I never rolled my... You see, and I think this is the biggest danger there is in the world. Because you have to be... This is the reality. Most people in the world don't have a Twitter account. Most people in the world probably don't have a Facebook account, or if they have a Facebook account, they use it very rarely, or they use it just for basic conversations. So no Twitter account, no Facebook account. Most people in the world. So then most people in the world, what are they doing? They're watching TV. They're watching TV. You can call them bricks, or you can call them class A. Most people in the world are sitting down on their sofa watching television. And most times than not, they have a channel. Because what people see, people want to hear things they like to hear. If you're right wing and you're conservative, you're not watching CNN. You're watching Fox News because that's what you like to hear. You don't really care about the news. Yes, you care about the news, but you want to hear the. Most people want to hear the news in the way that they like it to be heard. They don't really want to decipher. It's like, no. Yes, I want to know what's happening in the world, but I want it to be told this way because this is how I think. People want to do stuff that they like, you know. So, and if you're a left wing or you're a liberal, you're not watching Fox News. You're watching CNN because you like how they relay the news in that certain kind of way. So, for many people, the way that they view life or the way they go around operating their life is pretty much by the news channel that they view. So, that's how they do it. So, but my thing though is that I just speak to myself, and again, like this is for myself. Not everybody can be like who you are and everything is. My advice is you have to research, and you can't be lazy. See, because if you're lazy, you get influence and you're a zombie, then you're pretty much a moron. Because if you tell me that like you don't research, you don't ask questions, you don't critique what you're being told, you just accept everything you're being told, you're a zombie. You don't have a brain, you're not engaging your brain. And this is the thing. The CNN, the Fox News, the BBC News, they play to the zombies. They don't want to be questioned. They're like, no. What we're telling you is facts. We don't want to hear anything otherwise. What we're telling you here is facts. We don't want to hear anything otherwise. You will accept what we tell you. And more times than not, these guys, they accept what they're being told. The sheep. 99% of the people in this world are sheep. They simply are. People follow a trend. People want to be told what to do. Most people in the world are followers. They want to follow. Who is the leader? Tell me what to do. Tell me that this is the right way to go. Is this the right way to go? All right, I'm going to go this way. That's the reality, So it's dangerous not to be a sheep man. I wanted to talk about TV. So again, this really goes back to the media thing again. So in England, in England in the 90s, I don't know how many of you guys in the live chat live in England. In England in the 90s. So you had all these shows like The Real McCoys, Big Breakfast, Cutting Edge, lots of very edgy, interesting shows all through the 90s. So it's like whenever it was like around 10 or 11 p.m., you had these very interesting shows, very, very creative. Then something happened. Literally, as soon as you got to the year 2000, all that changed. It was like, wait a minute, where did all the shows go? And now when you turn on the television in England, it's horrible, horrendous. Escape to the Country, Bargain Hunt, and everything. I told you, I don't watch TV. In England, like English TV is horrible. You may get one or two good TV shows like on Channel 4, but more times than not, it is flipping horrendous. Hence why like my TV is Netflix, Prime Video, obviously so much Crunchyroll, and YouTube. So really it's YouTube, Netflix, Prime Video. Because TV is crap. That wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a mistake that you had certain shows in the 90s and all those shows went when the millennium came. Because the government in England uses the media to try and influence their society. Because they're trying to breed a certain society. A society that is subdued, that is conservative, but also coincides with visions of the royal family and of British society. Do you know 9 out of 10 people who work for either the BBC, ITV, Channel 4, Channel 5, most of these guys either go to Oxford or Cambridge. Most of them. So the programs you're being given come from the upper class, posh 1% of society in England, because they are breeding a certain kind of content for their society. Because see, the whole point of putting out media and anything is you want people to express themselves. That is the utopian point. But if you have a country, you want to build a society, and you have a certain vision of how you want the society to be. And the way in which you maintain a society's consciousness and you control their consciousness is through the media. Because if people aren't walking, they're watching TV. But the issue, which is why this has been my biggest fear. My biggest fear is the internet. And I'm shocked that people, and I think there was like even a massive thing that they wanted to do with the internet, is people policing the internet. Now, I know that they have this in North Korea, obviously, and I think they may have it in China. But what I was saying that what would happen is each country polices the internet. So if you enter a country, you can only go to certain sites under the country's ruling. Because what is happening now is with the boom of the internet, no one watches BBC or ITV or because it's trash. Young people, they're on YouTube. They're on YouTube. They're on Netflix, Pornhub, X videos, those things. But they're on the internet. They're not TV. This stuff is garbage. Stuff is crap. Stuff is coming crap. I'm getting my content on flipping the internet because I can now choose what I want to watch. You see, with the media controlled by the government, no, we are telling you what to watch. And we're not even giving you a real choice because it's all the same. It's all the same. We're trying to subdue you, make you bow down to the royal family, make you conservative, because that's a society we want, a dominant, submissive society. But when you now have the internet and YouTube, you have crazy dudes like yourself, like myself, HH. You don't know what the hell you'll find, because this is the thing. So all these guys, what they want to say, an AFTB, Robbie, Poets, Voosh, all these dudes you see on YouTube, do you really think that they'd ever be shown on BBC or ITV? Really? Black guys talking like this, being free, saying whatever the hell they want on prime time television. Even if it was on 11p, do you think that'd be allowed? No way. No way. So it's all controlled. From here on Real Deal, man, thank you for the super chat. Said 1988 to 1993, positive rap, but things changed for money. I mean, do we want to go there? Do we want to go there? Do we want to go there? Because I've always found it interesting that because see, so you're hitting a very key point here. Because rap is the most popular art form in the world. And you see, for you, young people, come on, the youth are the future. The youth are the future. I believe that children are the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Whitney Houston, what up, baby? The kids are the future. Kids don't give a damn about that trash, outdated, old-ass TV crap you're feeding them. No one cares. No one cares. But they listen to rap. So are those white, suburban, blue-eyed, blonde kids. They listen to rap, thanks to maybe Eminem, but they listen to rap. They want to hear rap. What's it called? Travis Scott, Golding, all these dudes now. 90s was the golden age of rap. The golden age of rap were the 90s. Because I mean, really, I'll probably push that up to maybe 95, 96. See, when you saw P. Diddy do his whole dancing with shiny suits and everything, then rap was sort of getting diluted. And now what you now have now is the record companies are putting out specific kind of rappers. We want the Nicki Minaj shaking her ass. We want Future, who we can't even hear what the hell he's saying. And we want the mumble rappers. But you can't control a Kendrick. You can't control a J. Cole. And who is the face of rap? Who is the face of rap? It's Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar is the king of rap. He is the face of rap. You know, when you think rap of right now, who is the king of rap? It's Kendrick Lamar. And you see, that thing, you can't control rap. You see, the record companies wanted to control rap and say, no, these black guys, we don't want another Tupac. We want these mumble rappers who promotes violence, promotes stupidity, promotes moronic behavior, who just want to turn up and party because we want to dumb down these. We don't want to inspire them. Because remember, this is still media. Rap is hugely influential. If Tupac was still alive, black people think differently. Because he was far too influential, and he was one of the great poets. You know, I don't give a damn about Shakespeare or any of the other or Keats. Tupac is one of the great poets of our time. But you now have a Kendrick Lamar. You know, and a Kendrick Lamar is very aware. Maybe not as good a poet as Tupac is, but he's still a very good poet. So the thing about rap is that it can't be controlled. It can't be controlled. You know, because at the end of the day, you know, a J. Cole and a Kendrick Lamar will always come through past a Future or any of these dudes, man. Says if you want to sell to a larger crowd, white people for the buck, at the end of the day, their interests will dictate the product. Country music is mostly the same because it didn't go past its demographic. So a larger crowd for the buck, at the end of the day, their interest would. No, for me, it's like, because see, that's what I always said is that, look, white people always liked rap. They always like rap, you know. And the funny thing is that what I always say is that speak to any white person who liked rap before Eminem, they probably don't like Eminem. So any white guys who were into rap like in the late 80s, early 90s, probably don't like Eminem's music because their view of rap is completely different. So, but the thing though is that if you want to make the big money, you now have to really appeal to white America because they form a large part of the populace. And the thing with a Kendrick Lamar is he is just very good. And the reason why he is so dangerous is that he can actually influence those white kids. Because if he's now influenced, because I remember I was watching this documentary about Kendrick Lamar and everything, and I think he was in a shop or something, and this white kid comes up to him and he asks for an autograph. This guy just looked like a regular ass white kid, regular ass white kid, and that just struck me because I was like, look at who he's reaching. How many more of these kids are like this? You know, because let's keep it real, those parents, you can't stop these white kids from listening to this stuff. So if these white kids are now being influenced by what Kendrick can say, that is massive. Because what Kendrick says holds more weight than what their parents say or what the news media says. Because rap is a form of media. And I would argue for young people, for young people, the most influential media is rap music. It's rap music. That is the most influential form of media, is rap music. But now, obviously now seeing the rise of podcasts now. But the thing with a podcast is again, like Joe Rogan is hugely influential, massive. He has the biggest podcast in the world. See, it's hard to know. It's hard to know because I'd need to look at the numbers which we don't have access to. But Joe Rogan's influence can rival a CNN or a BBC News. It can rival. It can rival. Um, oh God, it can rival. But look, you see, it's very interesting that you bring up Drake. It's very interesting that they bring up Drake. 1000% Drake is influential. Anyone that denies that, you're having a laugh. Drake is hugely influential, massive. He is the definition of a trendsetter. He's the definition of a trend. I mean, we can have another conversation about Drake, but people need to really give credit to how Drake has impacted popular music. Forget rap, because Drake, for me, he's neither a rapper or an R&B singer. He's just a musical artist because his albums are a hybrid. But in terms of his impact on popular music, it's huge. He is one of the most impactful musical artists on the pop genre of all time. 100%. 100%. So he's influential. But the thing about Drake, though, is he doesn't make political music. He doesn't make political statements. And that is why people have sort of criticized him, because it's like, you reach so many people. Women love you. Men admire you. And everybody looks at you at setting the trend of what is cool now. You're the trendsetter. See, Kendrick Lamar is just like the best rapper right now. He's the face of rap. Drake is popular music's trendsetter. So that is because Kendrick is massive and he does exceed rap, but Drake's reach is far greater than Kendrick, because everybody wants to feel good. Everybody wants to dance. Everybody wants to have fun. Not everybody wants to listen to political rap. Not everybody wants to listen to conscious rap. No, okay, it's okay. Not now. I'm always ready to turn up. I'm always ready to dance and have fun, which is what Drake provides. So Drake's influence is massive, but because he doesn't say anything, he isn't really influencing anyone politically. His influence is just from a musical, artistic point of view. Podcast is the new media. Because I'm so happy because again, I hate following trends. But remember, me and Daniel, we began our podcast in 2016. 2016. So 2016, of course, there were podcasts, but podcasts were not really as big back in 2016. Every single person you can think of has a podcast. Everyone has a podcast now. So, and that's why the market is very much saturated. It's very much saturated right now. So it's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And because the issue with podcasts is, who do you listen to? Like, for me, because I've followed the Joe Budden podcast fully, that's the one that I know, all right, when these guys drop, that's where I'm always going to go to, is the Joe Budden podcast. So it's hard for me to now jump on a new podcast now, because I'm like, okay, what is it? And because there are so many coming at you, it's hard to choose which one you want to follow. So that right in there is the issue, man. All right, let's see. People. So the people who are selling record companies. So guys, last 20 minutes, send in questions. I'll answer any questions. So this will be anything. Just send in questions for last 20 minutes. Last 20 minutes, I'll answer questions, and drop a like, guys. So the people who are telling record companies to suppress meaningful voices for sinister purposes. Yeah, no. You see, record companies are like the leaders of these news institutions. They have an agenda, you know, and for them is they they want a particular society. They want a particular society because 90s rap is very different from the rap that you see right now. And of course, there are a few meaningful guys here and then everything, but the guys who are put at the forefront are mostly guys who are trash. Mumble rap is crap. Mumble rap shouldn't be popularized because it's garbage, which is why it is so good you have a J. Cole and a Kendrick Lamar, and I'm so happy and glad a Kendrick Lamar exists, because before Kendrick Lamar, who was there? Because again, I love that 50 Cent album. 50 Cent wasn't saying anything. And Jay-Z, as good as he was, Jay-Z is a chameleon. He may say something one time, he may just say, so he's just giving different styles. But what you always needed is a guy who is, okay, I am consistently on this. This is what I'm about on consistently, man. You see, I only see particular phrases or points of view that he has. So I've not sat down and listened to him at length, So again, I'm not really sure, because he strikes me as one of those who is, I don't know whether you're necessarily right wing, but you're trying to maybe put forth like stuff that is factual and truth, or maybe the kind of uncomfortable truth. That is where he strikes me as. And for me, I'm one of those guys that are about, again, I'm neither left wing or right wing, and for me, I want facts, because you can't dispute facts. I want, okay, what is the truth? So, but for me, it's like, so yeah. So for me, I'm not sure what his point of view is, because again, everybody has to come with a point of view and from a particular bias, man. Why are the media accepting 6ix9ine? The guy is a fake, because you have to wake up and realize the society that we live in. No one cares. This society is fake. People are fake. People aren't real. All people want to do is to be entertained. And this is especially for the younger generation, the whole thing about loyalty, integrity, values, a code of honor, a code of ethics, that doesn't mean anything. It means nothing in the world that we're in. In the world that we're in, it's all about your amounts. Like, I just want to have fun. Who cares whether it's a teacher or anything? I'm just out to have fun. So, and for the media and so forth, they're like, if this gives us clicks, this gives us views, we don't give a damn what the hell he did, because it's just entertainment. You have to realize in this world and in society and people, no one really cares. Nobody really cares. It's all about entertainment. Did you hear Candace Owens' remarks on George Floyd? You see, the thing about people like a Candace Owens is, like, for me, I think I have her muted, so I don't even listen to anything that she says, because she has chosen her side. She has chosen her side. So once she has chosen that path, good luck to you. Same thing with the John Barnes, good luck to you. So I don't even want to know what she's written, because I already know that, okay, look, okay, so you're going to not be there. But this is what I always say. This is that. For Black people, be careful the side that you choose. I'm still waiting for Will Smith to post something, by the way. I'm still waiting for Will Smith to post something. But for Black people, be careful about the side that you choose. Because when white people don't need you anymore, they will discard you because you're not one of them. Everyone cares about their own. That's how the world works. We don't live in the all lives matter, we're all together. No, 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 no. We are divided by race. Sorry, I wish it wasn't, but we're divided by race. So for Candace Owens, whites are using you because what is so powerful for them is a black voice who isn't with the black populace, who is separate and things like us. So we can use this as well. Hey, not all black people are like this. We have somebody who is viewing this way. So cool. We can't be racist. But now once whites now discard of you and don't need you anymore, you can't run back to blacks. So then you now become an island. I think with the Candace Owens is that behind the scenes, those whites that are championing you are calling you a stupid nigger behind your face. They are calling you a stupid nigger behind your face, behind the scenes. So you've got to be very careful about the side that you choose. You have to be very careful with the side you choose, man. What is there to say about John Barnes, man? Like, there's like he is desperate to try and be at that other side. But what I always say about John Barnes is that you do know that most of the people who support what you say are whites, and most people that have an issue with what you say are blacks. What does that tell you? And for John Barnes, if you're cool with that, hey, that's all right. But I wouldn't want to be in that thing. Thoughts on Instagram? This would be a great topic, but let me just condense it. Instagram is for insecure women. It's for women who are insecure. Of course, Instagram, you can post videos on own pictures, but the essence of Instagram are for insecure women. So you go there, you post a selfie that isn't you. It's been photoshopped, it's been edited to make you appear like how you aren't normally in real life. And those comments and those likes are a way of raising up your self-esteem. Remember, Instagram are about pictures and visuals. Twitter is about text, which is why I forgot. I think it was someone that said, I don't know whether it was Daniel or someone that said this, that for that model that you're into, do you follow them on Twitter or do you follow them on Instagram? More likely than not, you follow them on Instagram, not on Twitter, because you care about what they look like rather than what they have to say, which is the unfortunate, sad truth. So Instagram really it's for women, and even women who even are naturally beautiful. Because see, women always like to be told they're beautiful, they're amazing. It's just a female thing. They like nice things. They like nice comments. They like to be complimented. So that Instagram of like posting those pictures and so forth for likes, for comments, is a way of just saying, yeah, I'm still beautiful. I'm still amazing. I still look great. So that is what Instagram is for women. Men don't like taking loads of pictures. Yeah, they may post a video here and everything. They're not. Women are obsessed with pictures. They're obsessed with selfies. That is their thing because they're more about the image. So it's just it is for women. So that's the thing, man. Oh, so basically, John Barnes. He's basically saying that Keith Lemon, who basically sort of like blackened his face to portray Craig David, this R&B set. Basically, like it's not blackface. It's funny. It's humorous, and so forth. And other black people say, well, no, that is still a form of blackface. It is still offensive. And I remember when he used to do it, and it's like, because I always say that a white person blackening up their face in any form, for me, I will never be cool with it. Hence why I said that, and it's so funny, it's one of my videos where loads of people have these comments, is the whole Danny Jr. thing. Any white guy blackening their face for me will always have those connotations, even if they do it in good jest, even if it is good natured. Based on the history of it, I will never be cool with any white guy blackening their face to portray a black person and then acting like a black person. I'm like, nah, nah, sorry. Based on the history of that, and then people say, oh, what about white chicks? Was there a history of black people whitening their face to demean and ridicule the white race? No, there wasn't. So it can never have any connotations, So because there's no racial history of that, but there's a racial history of blackening up. So, but also just on a major thing, John Barnes just likes to coon himself out, and he likes to acquiesce himself to white people, and to pretty much anger black people. And I always say that if for a black guy, if the only people who are complimenting you are white and the only people who are denouncing you are black, that's problematic. And I feel like John Barnes is really, really stupid to not realize what is really happening. All right. I think that there's an interesting one that's here. There's an interesting one that I saw here. See, I think I pause. So Will Smith isn't even posting regular anymore. I don't think he's choosing to ignore it. But when he responds to social media, see, Ronnie, this is what I believed. But then he posted, I'll show you what he posted. So this is what I said, oh, okay, you're right and everything. But then when he then posted this, I was like, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. Because if you now go to Will Smith's page now, you see, this is what he's posted. If I can actually bring it up. There we go. So he's posted this, which is pretty much like, the blackout thing. So, and the reason why I find this problematic is, see, if he hadn't said anything or posted anything since, it's like, okay, he's keeping quiet. Then when he comes back, he'll then say something. But why this is problematic is, this is the easy thing to post that flipping Cannibal Suarez and John Terry posted this. So he's like, you know what? Me posting this means that you're like straddling the defense. Hey, I'm still with black people, but I don't want to alienate my white fans as well. And if you read the comments, everyone has been like, yo, Will, you're not going to say anything about George Floyd. All you're going to do is post a black. And remember, he's just posted this. No hashtag, no comments, no words. So you're hedging your bets. It is a safe thing. And what worries me, and I hope I'm wrong, because we all saw what The Rock posted. We all saw what The Rock posted. Like, The Rock gave an 8-minute full breakdown speech saying why all lives matter is dumb, this is why Black Lives Matter. But why this is why I hope isn't true, because I am a massive Will Smith fan. I'm a huge Will Smith fan. Massive. I was a Will Smith fan before Fresh Prince. Boom, 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 shake, shake the room was one of the big things in parties in Nigeria. In Nigeria, boom, boom, shake, shake the room was one of the biggest songs in all Nigerian parties. So I knew Will Smith from him being a rapper with Jazzy Jeff. Well, my danger is Will Smith is trying to protect his brand. And even through his Instagram and everything, I can see the kind of brand he's trying to create of, I am the everyman. I want everyone to love me. I'm for everyone of all races, which is why I said in my video that Will Smith wants to post All Lives Matter. But he knows that if he does that, black people will eviscerate it. And my problem is that he doesn't want to anger his black fan base. He doesn't want to anger his white fan base. And that is what I find problematic, because read the comments. People are putting pressure on him because we've seen what John Boyega did. We've seen what The Rock said. and seeing what these other guys have, and all these other guys have done. Jamie Foxx has been out there. And for Will, you can't escape based on what everyone else has done. And because this is such a big thing, you can't escape this. Because you can't go back to now dancing and cracking jokes. Because if you don't say anything, and my problem is that even when he says something, it will be so political and so down the line, and like, bruh. Because again, The Rock was very clear in what he was saying. Was like, this is why Black Lives Matter. This is, people are bleeding, people are crazy. This is an injustice. Was with, you said nothing? Because see, and this is just this is what I said again. It is so sad we live in a world where we have to be reliant on celebrities to say stuff. That's a sick world. We shouldn't be. We shouldn't be that. Because I always said, don't try and view the world how you think it should be. View the world as how it is. The world is a place in which celebrities have to say something because famous people saying stuff can help change things. Kim Kardashian helped free some people from prison. Okay? So yes, her big booty, was influential in getting people out of prison through Trump. It is what it is. Celebrities, famous people can change things and can have an influence. So for Will, I guess that, I'm not a politician, I'm an actor, I'm an entertainer and everything. Sorry, bro. You're too famous. You're too popular and you're Black. That is the cross you're gonna have to bear. That's the cross that you're gonna have to bear. You see that you have to choose who you are. You have to choose who. Like for me, I said again, see, I used to be a dude who wanted to please everyone. I remember in school, I say, "Oh no, man, everyone is my friend. I'm good with everyone and everything." But then I realized that no, that's not realistic. There are simply people who you can't please. There's simply people who just won't like you. You can't please everyone because you have to be a certain kind of. I am this certain kind of guy. I'm this certain kind of guy, and that's just who kind of person that I have to be, man. Yeah, Jada made a thing, man. See, but not every Black celebrity needs to say, no, listen now, be very clear here. This isn't about Black Lives Matter. Forget that. Okay, I know. Okay, I'm not with that. No. About what is happening. Forget about a hashtag. What is happening? The protest, George Floyd, police reform. It is true. Not every Black celebrity has to. Some do. Some have to say something. Now, again, in a different world, they shouldn't. In a different world, you're a celebrity. You don't have to say no. You shouldn't say anything. That should be left to the social leaders and so forth in a different world. But in this world that we're living in, some do. You see, Tay Diggs. Tay Diggs, you don't have to say anything. Morris Chestnut. Morris Chestnut, it's cool. You don't have to say anything. Like, if you say something, it's cool. Even Tyrese. Okay, cool. But there's certain people who should. You see, someone like a Denzel does not. Because we know exactly where Denzel stands because he has said so much stuff about it and he's been very clear where he stands. Denzel has been very clear with where he stands with the roles he takes and the stuff that he said in interviews. That's why from Denzel, because we already know. I can show you a bunch of interviews of how Denzel has talked about racism, Black people, and so forth. The only thing that Will Smith has said about is that racism hasn't changed. It's now just getting filmed, and that's it. because Will Smith is trying to build a certain brand and he's trying to present himself in a certain kind of way. And my thing is that the kind of brand and image Will Smith is trying to present isn't real. It isn't real. Because unfortunately, in this world, not in a perfect world, in this world that we live in, the real world, a black man celebrity can't be an everyman and be loved by everyone. It can't happen. Because when situations happen like this, you have to say something. And you have to be from a certain point of view. And when you're from that certain point of view, there are people that will say, all right, I'm done with you. Because I'm sure that there maybe there been Will Smith fans that are like, man, this whole George Floyd, this whole black life, you know. So that's the thing, man. Oh, Kenny, you see, I mean, because I said again, look, if we shouldn't live in a world where we are reliant on what celebrities say. Say, I'm just curious. The reason why I am curious is, you see, it's difficult. Because, as I said, in a perfect world, you shouldn't care about what celebrities say because you're a celebrity. You act, you pretend to be other people, you sing, you know, because what you want are people who research and are educated. But I was watching this Actors Roundtable, and I think this was with it was with Adam Sandler, Tom Hanks, Jamie Foxx, and then they asked, Adam Sandler, would you ever have a political point of view or say anything with regards to Trump or anything? And Adam Sandler was like, hey, look, man, I haven't done the research. I'm not educated well enough, so I don't feel that as a celebrity I should really say anything because I don't really feel that I have the right amount of research to really come across and say anything. And then Jamie Foxx then said that this is like politics is just right and wrong. So it's not even about being political. It's not even going into the details of like, okay, this is now the technicalities of this viewpoint. No, it's about right and wrong. Right and wrong. The George Floyd thing is a cut and dry. This is wrong. This is an injustice. There is nothing political to say that the American police organization, the system of a lot of them, is racist. That's not controversial, it's not shocking, it's just factual. There are facts to back this up based on how they are told to police certain neighborhoods, as has been said by policemen who've given accounts by what they're told in these organizations. There's the history of the LAPD, NYPD is shown. So, which is why that if you have a massive voice, this is the cross you have to bear for having this massive voice. Because yes, they will love you, you can dance, then you have the other likes, but now when things now come real, are you willing to now put yourself out there and put your voice out there? Because see, this is the thing. You want progress. It's about getting certain people's attention. If Shegu or Johnny John, the social leader who's been about civil rights and everything for a long time, says something, it's not going to change the minds of those certain white people because, like, okay, who is this dude? Okay, cool. But if a Will Smith says something, oh, I know Will Smith. I like Will Smith. I've done business with Will Smith. I am now more inclined to listen because it's Will Smith, who I know, I like, I love, and inspires me. And that's just the sad reality, because really, it shouldn't take a Will Smith to have to say something. It should just take a socialist lead, like people, like there's been some amazing speeches. But these people aren't influencers. They're not influential. Again, it goes back to the whole thing of media, influence. So the way you make change are by getting people to influence people. and you need influential people to say certain things to now help turn the needle. So, oh yeah, okay. People are talking about Kanye. Look, okay, Kanye gave some cash. Kanye gave some cash, but you see, I don't look at Kanye as like a leader. I don't look to him towards inspiration. Yeah, he made a few records. Cool. You made a few records. You made a few tracks. Cool. But I'm not so like, oh, where is Ja? Where is Ja? Like, I am not looking at Kanye West for, yo, man, bro, we need Kanye West to really say something because Kanye West is really because he made a few racially conscious rap tracks, really. Now, I don't want to hear what a Talib Kweli has to say because I know how his mind works 24/7. Okay, Talib Kweli isn't just like I'm conscious on. No, he's conscious on social media. He's conscious in interviews. He's conscious on he's conscious 24. So Talib Kweli, okay, yeah, let me hear from you because you do this 24/7. Immortal Technique. I want to hear from because Immortal Technique does this 24/7, both on rap and out of rap. So because Kanye West makes some famous songs and he's married to Kim Kardashian, therefore we want to hear from him, but not a Talib Kweli or an Immortal Technique. But then again, influence. A guy like a Kanye, because he's influential and more influential than a Talib Kweli and an Immortal Technique. Forget me, but for him, you know, that's what he wants to try and do. I'm gonna do a few more cues and I'll be out of here, man. Let's see. Donald Trump is from the road. How is he president? America, man. America is what it is, man. It's flipping America. Like, I was sure that Hillary was going to win, but remember, I think we talked about it before. It's the American dream. In America, anyone can be anyone. The Jay-Z story only happens in America. The Donald Trump story only happens in America. How does a guy who goes from The Apprentice become the president of America? Like, even how he ran his campaign, all of the allegations in his campaign, everything that everyone knew about it, and the things that he said and the way he went about doing. Even Trump was shocked when he won. Of course, he didn't think he was going to win. There was no way Trump thought he was going to win. He just wanted to say, let me just run, and he ended up winning. And he has turned America upside down. Like, he has completely and totally disgraced the seats of the president in America. Because I thought George Bush Jr., like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, this guy has this. Trump has taken it to the next level. So, but it is interesting, man. It is interesting, man. Yes, I said again. I've begun reading him. But I began reading, man, the autobiography of Malcolm X, man. I've begun reading the big boy book, man. Began reading another big boy book. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm probably going to finish the book, then I'm going to watch the next, because I think people have said it's really good. The of Who Killed Malcolm X, and even it's been interesting reading the book, man. Jeez, see, for me, I have to look. See, again, I personally, I'm not checking for Jay-Z, but he is extremely influential. I think he did like a massive post relating to the whole George Floyd thing. So he's definitely been saying something about George Floyd. So he's definitely given his comments there. But again, for me, I'm not checking for a Jay-Z. It's nice for him to say something, but I'm like, hey man, I really want to hear what Jay-Z has to say about the Suckers. I'm like, do I need to really? So But see, that's again. Maybe let's end with this. Kanye West. He did something. He did something. Donation, and I think he's gonna create a fund for George Floyd's daughter, which I think it's something. It is good. Throwing money at a situation doesn't change a situation. You need to actually do specific things and change specific things. Money helps, but money alone won't change things. It is money with regards to making specific moves. So money with regards to making specific moves, but also it's about having a consistent consciousness from henceforth. Now, is it can like, so as this happens, we're now going back to now dancing, rapping, boom, 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 cracking jokes, so it's kind of just going to just drop another weird psychedelic thingy album. No, it's like, this could be a turning point. This could be a turning point. Like, so from now on, you can't bring out a rap album where you're just talking nonsense. You can't. You now have to bring out something where you're now talking about something. You are commenting about something. So, just again, because I even saw a post about how people say, okay, we're now going to donate this amount of money to BLM. I have questions about BLM and Black Lives Matter. Now, so if you see me, I have never ever put out that hashtag of Black Lives Matter. See, I believe in the concept of Black Lives Matter, of like, no. Black lives matter just as much as white lives. But in America, that isn't the case, because in America, Black lives don't mean squat. That's why they get treated like trash. So I believe in the concept, but it's becoming a certain movement and a certain organization. And the issue with organizations is organizations now become institutions. So it goes from a movement to an organization, from an organization to an institution. And once you now have an institution, you now have vested interests. And you now have people who can now poison that institution and create certain rules in that institution that can then benefit themselves. And then the point of the movement gets lost. You see, what is great is a movement. I'm all about a movement. I am against an institution. You don't need organization. You do need the organization, but I hate an institution. So, because again, my friend sent me an image of this BLM movement that stopped stuff happening at the airport. Do you know who was in this BLM movement? It was all white people. Hashtag Me Too. Hashtag Me Too was begun by a black woman who was doing it because of how the injustices of black women and so forth, regards to rape and everything. But it now it then got co-opted by a white woman. So we now think of hashtag Me Too. You forget about the black woman who created it. You now think about the white woman who have now co-opted it. So it's very, very key. It is very, very, very key. It is very, very key. And that's why, thinking about this stuff and everything is like, you always have to think about change, about how do you really enact an exact change. And it's also this past week, it's been difficult. It's been difficult, man. So it's been wild, man. Because again, it's like, that's why you think to yourself that and basically it's hard, because you see, I know a truth. And maybe I need to release a video on it. Maybe I need to release a video on it. But with regards to everything and so forth, there is a truth. And I think it's a truth that people don't want to accept of how the world is and what the reality of the world is. And there are certain things you can't change. There are certain things you can't change. And I think it's what we said before. Because if you really want to change what I'm thinking you want to change, you need to have a war. That's it. You need to have a war. Because I always say that, so if you're now protesting to like you want full equality and so forth, full 100% equality, you need to have a war. Protesting is not going to change that. Protesting will change maybe a few small things, but if you want to actually want real change, two things. This is what I've said. Either you have a war or you create something of yourself. You take what you need from the system and you create your own system specifically of yourself, man. So that's the thing. But fighting, protesting to change the system is impossible. You can't. The only way you can't change the system. You have to destroy it, because it's a system. You can't change a system. Is defined, well defined, because it's going on for a long time. So you can't change the system. You either destroy it or you create something different. You can't change it. Systems have either been destroyed or they've been left alone to allow to die themselves. So the only way systems really gets destroyed is if someone destroys them from the outside, or it destroys itself from within. So the systems never gets changed. Systems never gets changed. So, which is why I said, if you're fighting for equality within the system, I don't think that's fight. See, you fight for justice, basic justice. Yes, you fight for justice and for the rights of people. You fight for those things, but yeah. But guys, look, man, it's been swell. It's been good. Remember to drop a like. Obviously, I'll see you guys at 10 p.m. for the Football Hot Q&A. And tomorrow, I have to think about what we should. Let me even ask you guys before we pop off. What should we talk about tomorrow? Give me some ideas, because I have a few ideas of what we can talk about tomorrow. But give me some ideas. What would you guys want to talk about tomorrow with the kid? What would you want me to talk about tomorrow? What topics are on your mind? Give me some ideas. Give me some ideas about what topics are on your mind for tomorrow. What topics for tomorrow? What topics for tomorrow? What topics for tomorrow? I think I'm going through, man. What topics? Oh, the man. What topics for tomorrow? Because I think I want to get back into something. Oh wow. Marriage. Marriage, Black people and capitalism. Huh. Interesting. So this is so marriage, Black people and capitalism, anime. All right. I'll think about it, man. I'll think about it. All right. I'll see you guys on tomorrow. 7 p.m. tomorrow. I'll see you guys here 7 p.m. tomorrow. Peace out. Become a Half Hope Talks member and gain access to exclusive videos and also the chance to watch films, anime, or different videos with your boy HH exclusively. Just click below on the join button to join in and become a Half Hope Talks member to gain access to these perks. Just click on the community icon over here to view the new members only posts just for you.